In today's video, GANYU, secretary at UI Pavilion in UA. GANYU is a 5-star cryo character, bow user, main DPS in freeze and melt teams. In this video, you'll find tips, talents, explanations, artifact sets, weapons, and more, so keep watching if you want to have the best GANYU in Genshin. Join me Discord server if you want to make friends and play Genshin or other games. You're more than welcome to join, so without further ado, this is GANYU's character investment, and let's jump right into her active talents. With the normal attack, she performed up to 6 consecutive shots with a bow. With the charge attack, she performs a more precise aim shot with increased damage. While aiming, an icy aura will accumulate on the arrowhead before the arrow is fired, and it has different effects based on how long you charge the arrow. The charge level 1 fires off an icy arrow that deals cryo damage, and the charge level 2 fires off a frost flake arrow that deals cryo damage. The frost flake arrow blooms after hitting its target, dealing AoE cryo damage, so really good and also pretty strong. With this skill, she leaves a single Ice Lotus behind, dashing backward and dealing AoE cryo damage. The Ice Lotus has a few properties which are pretty useful for her. It continuously taunts surrounding opponents, attracting them to attack it. Endurance skill based on GANYU's max HP and blooms profusely when destroyed or once its duration ends, dealing AoE cryo damage. So this is a perfect distraction for the opponents since it allows GANYU to always charge her arrow at level 2 and deal more damage. With the burst, she summons a Sacred Cryo Peril. During its ability duration, the Sacred Cryo Peril will continuously rain down shards of ice, striking opponents with an AoE and dealing cryo damage. The level priority is normal attack, skill, and lastly the burst. Let's have a look at her passive talents. With the first one, after firing a frost flake arrow, the crit rate of subsequent frost flake arrows and the resulting bloom effects is increased by 20% for 5 seconds. Really good for a crit ratio, it makes the build easier and we appreciate it. With the second one, the burst grants a 20% cryo damage bonus to active party members in the AoE, so she's also gonna have elemental damage bonus, so really good for her. The last one refunds 15% of their use when crafting bow type weapons. Before we uncover her artifacts options, the majority of the viewers are not subscribed, so subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content and make sure to activate the notifications to not miss out any future guides of your favorite characters. So for artifacts options, for 2-piece she can use 2-piece attack, Gladiator, Simenawa, and all others, 2-piece cryo damage, Blizzard Slayer, and 2-piece charge attack damage, Manchester Hunter. For 4-piece she can use for freeze teams, Blizzard Slayer, which gives her cryo damage with the 2-piece, and with the 4-piece she has 40% of crit rate if opponents are frozen, which is quite good. But you can also use Manchester Hunter, which gives her a small bonus in charge attack damage and 36% of crit rate if her HP decreases or increases. This forces you to have Furina, but she also buffs your damage, so it can be a great deal. For melt teams, Wanderer's Troop, which gives her EM with the 2-piece, and it's really good for melt damage, and the 4-piece grants her a bonus in charge attack damage just because she wields a bow, which is really good. There's not a stronger set, choose it based on the team you want to play her. Main stats are attack on the sand, cryo damage on the goblet, and crits on the circlet. Sub stats are crits, attack, elemental mastery, and a little of energy charge for the burst. GANYU was one of the big 3 in early Genshin. You think she's overrated or underrated nowadays? Let me know your opinion in the comments. Let's have a look at the weapons options now. First option is a mouse bow, her signature weapon. It gives a lot of attack and the effect grants a bonus for charge attack damage and increases it even further with the second part of the effect. Astral Vulture's Crimson Plumage, which also gives a lot of attack and crit damage. The effect grants a bonus in attack and also increases charge attack damage by 40%, which is a buff you have whether you are playing her in a freeze or melt team, so really good. Last option is the First Great Magic, which is the same as Astral. It gives attack and charge attack damage with the effect, so pretty fitting for GANYU. For 4-star options, we have Flower Breath Feather, which gives her a lot of attack and the effect increases charge attack damage. Also the percentage is pretty high and can be improved even more, so really good alternative. Shiro the Blazing Sun, which gives her crit rate and a good amount of attack. The effect makes opponent more vulnerable to charge attack hits, so really good for her damage. Lastly, Hamayumi, which gives a lot of attack and the effect increases normal attack and charge attack damage. This weapon is craftable, so the buff can be really strong. Let's have a look at the constellation before team comp so we can understand if there are any constellations needed, or we can play GANYU as C0's living great performances. With the first one, charge level 2 Frost Flake Arrows or Frost Flake Arrows Blooms decrease opponent's cryo resistance by 15% for 6 seconds upon hit. A hit also regenerates 2 energy for GANYU. This effect can only occur once per charge level 2 Frost Flake Arrow, regardless if Frost Flake Arrow itself or its bloom is the target, so really strong for her damage. With the second one, you can use the skill an additional time, good for particles and also if the first breaks. The third increases the level of the burst by 3. With the fourth, opponents standing within the AoE of the burst take increased damage. The effect strengthens over time. Increased damage taken begins at 5% and increases by 5% every 3 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 25%, so really good for her. Try to not make opponents leave the field she creates with her burst, of course. The 5th increases the level of the skill by 3, and with the last one, using the skill causes the next Force Flake arrow shot within 30 seconds to not require charging. Really good if you need to freeze opponents quickly to not take damage from them. Now for team comps, first option is a freeze team with Ganyu, Shenhe, Kokomi, and Kazuha. In this case, you have resistance of opponents decreased thanks to Kazuha and Shenhe. Also, Shenhe increases your damage and Kazuha your elemental damage. Kokomi simply heals you in case of an opponent hit and applies Hydro. Second option is a melt team with Ganyu, Kazuha, Bennett, and Shanling. In this case, Kazuha's task is the same as before. Then you have Bennett increases your attack and healing, and Shanling applying pyro on opponents. Last option is still a melt team but with a few changes, and it's with Ganyu, Nahira, Bennett, and Toma. In this case, you have Toma and Nahira that will keep pyro on the opponents. Also, Nahira gives you elemental mastery, which is good for melt and also allows you to focus on attack and crits while building Ganyu. Toma increases her damage with charge attacks if you have a C6, but also grants a shield which is useful in a melt formation. Bennett has the same task as always. You can replace Toma with Dia for interruption, resistance, and tank. As always, these were just examples. You can use Ganyu with Pyro, Anemo, Hydro, Geo, and even Dendro characters, so have fun with her. And that's all you needed to know about our Go Ganyu. I hope this video came useful to you. Don't forget to leave a comment on what you think of this incredible character. I remind you to subscribe to the channel and also to my TikTok and Instagram accounts. To join me in Discord server if you want to participate to the next videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!